We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on the Miami Dolphins offense, looking at their passing game. We recently, went after the run game and, talked about how it was struggling quite a bit in recent weeks. But since Tua's returned, the passing game has been playing at a very, very high level, and they're doing it in a different way this year than compared to last year. They've just become more versatile, and we're going to break that down. I think it's for a multitude of different reasons of why their passing game is finding success. I feel like it's the one area you look at, I think, if you look at it from a future perspective, that you feel pretty good about. And, with how teams played the Dolphins, if you look at last year, they really did struggle to, towards the end of the season offensively, especially passing the ball, because teams kind of figured them out. Dolphins didn't make those adjustments. But now with how teams have played them, they've simplified things in a lot of areas, a lot more quick underneath stuff, like using either the quick passing game, like intermediate 5-10 yards, or just like the screen game, which basically has become the extension of the running game for the team. So a lot of that quick stuff. I think a big reason for that was, one, just them adjusting, McDaniel and Tua understanding, like, hey, this is what the teams are giving us, let's take it. And then two, having the personnel to take advantage of it now. Because now with Jonnu Smith, Achane being used more of as a receiver, those guys are able to take advantage of those concepts. And then now, in the past 3 weeks, the Dolphins, against like the Raiders, Patriots, Packers, they've been able to do more of the downfield stuff, like the glance routes off of play action that they ran so much last year, and that like all the timing and stuff like that. And I think that still should be a big part of the offense, but it doesn't have to be as huge as it was last season, because those plays have a really small like margin for error, because everything has to be like perfectly on the same page, receiver, quarterback. You have to get like the really good window, and Tua has to make like a crazy throw a lot of the time. But now your margin of error isn't as hard on the passing offense, because now Tua's making more plays off script. The third down situations are a lot more manageable, because you're getting those easy yards on first and second down to Jonnu or Achane. And then you're also making more throws outside the number. Tua's hitting a lot of hole shots. The making plays off script for sure helps, and just having more manageable situations. And then you get like this game like versus the Raiders, Patriots, even a little bit versus the Packers. They were able to get more downfield shots because the Packers and those teams decided, like, hey, we're going to be a little more aggressive. We can't just give up these easy completions to Jonnu. We have to respect it now. Now we can start hitting some of these timing routes, anticipation stuff, and taking full advantage of it. Because here, Dolphins on like a 2nd and 3 situation, they get cover 3. They get a single high look. They motion Jalen Waddle to the inside. It puts Tua's just reading this defender, who's like the flat defender. He sees, it gets exactly what he wants. He sees middle of the field close, middle of the field safety. He knows now, like, peek over here. This window is open. Look how he's already preparing to throw this ball literally like 6 yards before Tyreek breaks. That's insane anticipation. Obviously, this is something they were able to do last year at a very high rate. But when you're able to get this space a little bit more, calling them in situations that are advantageous, you don't have to just always rely on it. It makes it super easy. Dolphins also able to go empty now and just read a defender. Like, Tua's just reading 56. Like, he starts to this side of the field, sees, he's not going to get this number 2 open. He sees this flat get taken away very quickly. He's just trying to pick up, an easy first down. So then he comes to this side. Now read 56. 56 opens up his hips. Boom. Throw the underneath to Jonnu. And then you have a player that can take advantage of yak after the catch, run someone over, speed. Like, this is exactly what the Dolphins need at the tight end position. And Jonnu has been amazing, especially since Tua's returned. Even before Tua returned, Jonnu was kind of like your best option back there. And then I would just say, like, having someone create off script, like Tua's doing this at a higher rate, and when he does go off script, it's not like he does it the most in the NFL or anything. He still does this, relatively on the smaller side, because just opportunities. But he's doing it at a higher rate than he was last year. And when he does go off script, he's like one of the most efficient QBs in the NFL right now, finding people. Him and Waddle create a big play. It's just like, you give your receivers this much time, especially these receivers, like, they're going to get open, find these soft spots, whether it's versus zone, man. But this has been a huge reason the Dolphins have had some more success, and teams have had to respect that more. It's just the versatility to create big plays is not super reliant in like one situation. They found ways to like beat cover 2 and things like that. And they still have like plays like this in their bag. Like, they lose up front. This is why the Dolphins can be so good offensively, is because the O-line needs to be really good run blockers, but in pass protection, like the guards specifically lose a lot in their one-on-one situations, but they scheme up a lot of things. And even when they're not scheming up like situations, he was able to still get rid of the ball so quickly and like manipulate. Look how he manipulates this guy. This is still one of my favorite plays in this season. I had to throw this in there. Look how he manipulates this guy with his eyes and then throws to this spot to where Tyreek's going to be, that's absolutely insane. And that's something that's still in the bag of the Dolphins. It's just not ran as much. Like here, they actually get cover one. They barely got cover one press. The only time they really get this is in these like 3rd and like 3 situations, 3rd and 4. So they're not expecting you to run the ball. They're expecting you to throw, but they don't want to give anything super easy. This is the only time Tyreek will get like press, man-to-man, one-on-one situations. So like they give him that, they throw the ball. Still one of the better, if Tua's able to throw a deep ball with like good timing, and he's able to step on his back foot and then throw the ball with good touch timing, he's one of the best deep ball throwers in these situations. So when the Dolphins get man-to-man, one-on-one, like they're going to be one of the better, more efficient teams in the league. But they're very willing, like 3rd and like 1.5, basically. Tua identifies the coverage this guy's playing off. He's just going to take a quick, easy completion to Jonnu. They are being much more, simplified concepts in these situations, which helps. Just keeping things very simple and taking, if the defense is going to give it to you, just take it. Not always forcing stuff. Here, man-to-man, or, Tyreek gets matched up in the slot, able to slide away from the pressure. It's not man, but, like, he gets matched up one-on-one. Slide away, still throw with anticipation, and just, like, basically get to the sticks, sell vertical, and then break on the hips. I don't love running. They basically ran, like, 4 hitches, which I don't necessarily love. But when you have receivers this good that can sell vertical, and these guys are opening up their hips, showing this, and still completing it, and, like, when you have the anticipation, like, very, very successful. Like, that's not something you really saw from the Dolphins last year. And I also think Tua's just gone through his reads a lot quicker. Like, here he gets to, like, his 4th option. He goes 1 to 2 to 3 to then step up in the pocket. Him and Jonnu being on the same page. Also having a bigger body down the field. I still think the Dolphins need to add some more bigger bodies, like another receiver bigger body that can play with some physicality. They can block, maybe get some yak. But also just, like, easier options to throw to in these windows. And they've just been taking advantage of these plays, doing it in so many different ways. Like, here's another play where it just works off script. They try to take a deep shot. This is what the difference from last year. They go play action, boom, basically have like a 2-man route concepts, and then you have some checkdowns underneath late. But you go like max protect. Everything's pretty much taken away, but Tua is able to create off script, him and Waddle on the same page, and then make a big play out of it. That was something that really wasn't there last year. So that's kind of like a big part. And you still got these like timing anticipation trials. Like, these are insane plays that the Dolphins hit at a very high rate last year, but it's still in the bag. It's not like it's just gone away, but it's not something they had to rely on as much. But like, this is insane window to throw that ball into to Tyreek, and he's able to make that adjustment. But like stuff like this, Dolphins do a very good job of spreading the team out horizontally. Like, they pull the guard there. This is a pass play. They fake the pitch to Achane. Look at the effect it has on the linebackers. They're very good at getting them horizontally. And then now with Jonnu on the team, compared to the tight ends last year, you're able to hit this route to Jonnu. You feel more confident calling this on a consistent basis. Because one, he's athletic enough to cross the face of the linebacker, but then also athletic enough to catch the ball. And instead of like maybe falling forward for a couple yards, he's able to stay on his feet, boom, make a guy miss, fall forward, pick up literally almost an extra like 8-9 yards on the play. So that's just like so much hidden yardages, and it makes you feel much more confident in your players as a team. And with your play calling, it gives McDaniels more confidence to call those plays. It gives Tua more confidence to throw those routes instead of just having to rely on Tyreek and Waddle. Even though I would love to get them more involved in the game plan, you now don't need to force them the ball. Just give them what the team is giving you. Dolphins have been able to run more smash and hit these more throws outside the numbers, because Tua doesn't have the greatest like arm strength to throw these balls, but he throws with such anticipation and accuracy. And him and his receivers just be on the same page. Boom, him, Washington. This was the throw to like close out the game. Hit it in this tight window. Very, very impressive. Like, these plays, I think, go underrated. And also just simple concepts, like where you just give Tua the option. Like, look where you have these aligned. They were taking some easy throws to Jonnu in this game. They're doing play action boots, things like that. He's reading 31. Like, they sees 31 squeeze this on Jonnu with the, they get him tight. They have no receiver out to the side. It's just a tight end in line. He reads 31. He sees that. Boom. Take just a quick flat to Raheem. Convert a first down. And it's just like a 2nd and 3 situation. Don't have to, force anything. And then you just get an easy 15-yard completion just from an underneath pass. Also, the screen game, especially down in the red zone. This exact play to Achane, I'm pretty sure Achane scored on this play at least 5 times. Like, he scored on this versus the Packers, the Bills, the Cardinals. I think also the Raiders game, or was it the Patriots game? Like, he has scored on this so many times this season, and that's just in like the recent weeks. I'm pretty sure he scored on similar concepts early on. Like, this guy's been, and this has basically been an example, extension of the running game for the team, and it's also just worked really well in the red zone. It's something they do all over the field, but the red zone is really thrived with it. And it's just like concepts like these, 3rd and 11. Instead of trying to force stuff down the field, like, look how deep the Bills are playing. Like, they understand, like, teams are gonna play like this. These guys are playing with deep intentions. The linebackers gain good depth, and not running like your normal screen where like the offensive line goes out, the teams can read it and they can rally down. Everyone's blocked. Tyreek is the only one running a route here down the field. If Tyreek's open, he can throw it, but he sees that it's probably not going to be open. Now, Malik and Jonnu are going downfield to block. Waddle's going down to block this guy. You dump it off to Raheem, so it basically creates a screen down the field, but with your receivers and tight ends blocking instead of O-line, so it's not as recognizable for the defense. They get a completion. Like, it's like little things like that. Like here, Tua off script again on a 3rd and like 20. Being able to actually convert this. They actually do. It was a defensive holding, so they would have got a first down either way. But to spin out of this, then find Raheem and him catch this and get this out to a first down, just absolutely insane work. Was just, you weren't going to see that at all last year from the team. And it's just like they've been good at converting some 4th downs, and they haven't converted 3rd downs. Here they get man-to-man. Tua does a nice job. He goes to Achane here first initially. Doesn't like what he sees. Could have potentially taken it, but I think there's a good chance he gets hit right after he catches it and gets short. And he knows, like, he's got man-to-man cover too, but you're able to put Tyreek in the slot like this, take advantage of that matchup. He's just able to cross the face of this defender who's playing inside leverage, and you take that all day long. Nothing too crazy. Just a, quick underneath crosser drag route to Tyreek in a man-to-man situation. And, he's very good at exploiting that. And it's just these hole shots, these smash concepts, throwing it to a bigger body and Jonnu, who's able to, give to an easy target to throw to. He can put a little more, put a little higher to get it over because he's a bigger target. He can go up and catch it, use his body to shield himself and make a tough catch. These are something that they're hitting at a higher rate as well this season. It's just all the different ways that they're able to find success. Quick passing game. Tua going from one side of the field to the other side of the field, hitting these quick, tight windows, getting it past a linebacker's hands. Like, the average depth of target has lowered a lot. Like, Tua leads the league in completion percentage, I believe. If he stays on this pace, like, it will be the highest completion percentage, like, ever in a season. Like, with, a certain amount of attempts or whatever. Which doesn't matter to me too much, because, like, Tua's average depth of target has gone down drastically. So, like, yes, his completion percentage is going to go higher because he's making easier throws to make. But, like, people are talking about it almost like it's a negative. To me, it's a positive. Like, we know if we knew Tua couldn't do the downfield stuff, it would be a negative. It would be like, oh, he can't throw the ball with a higher average depth of target. No, we've seen it. We've seen him have success doing that. It's just teams have adjusted and really played for that. That now that they're able to do this underneath stuff, teams have to respect it more, and then they have to give you looks like this, where it's just straight up cover one. They're pressing at multiple sides. Tua doesn't like the look to Tyreek, just because all his bills early. He takes the slot fade to Waddle, and Waddle, boom, makes the adjustment on the back shoulder, get the catch down the field. Because when they get these looks, the Dolphins are one of the best in the league at least since McDaniel's been the coach with Tua. They've been one of the best at leagues taking advantage of some deep shots on cover one. It's just they very rarely get it. But they've just done a good job throughout the season. Like, here you get Jonnu down the field, more time to work in the concepts. Packers go cover 3. I actually like stuff like this too, because they've used Tyreek more as like the underneath threat. Like, he could have thrown this to Tyreek here and completed for a first down, but Jonnu becomes wide open down the field. So just them getting that threat, maybe linebackers, you see Tyreek in your vision, you gain a little, come up a little bit. But they were doing this stuff like the play action, boom, widen this defender just enough. You have Tyreek as the underneath flat. This guy gets up, and you throw the ball to Waddle with timing. This safety's in a tough spot because you don't know what he's going to do. He could still get up on you like that. It's just been really impressive what the passing game has been able to do. The running game has been non-existent. That has to get better. The defense, I think, has to get better across the board. They've been inconsistent. Like, they have their moments. But I think since Tua's return, the passing game has kind of been the only one that's really been, like, pretty solid, at least in every game. Like, this Rams game wasn't perfect, but there were still good moments. The Packers game wasn't perfect either for the Dolphins passing game, but it was still the best unit, in my opinion, overall, because they couldn't run the ball at all. The defense played really bad on both sides. The passing game was at least able to find some success. at least as the game went on. It feels like every game since Tua's return, the passing game has at least shown up and done their part. And then there's been the times where they've, like over excelled and stuff like that. So I expect this to be like the unit that kind of carries you for most of the rest of the season. Even though there's some decent pass defenses they'll face, I think, they get away with it because their passing game, a lot of the underneath short stuff, you can get away with against most teams. And if those teams try to take it away, I feel pretty confident they can attack downfield, even against the best, because they have the best, downfield threat receivers in the league. So hopefully it can continue. But if you guys really much like, comment and subscribe to the